Hey Falcons fans! A major shakeup just hit the Falcons roster, and it's the kind of move that no one saw coming. Right as the team prepares for one of the most unique games on the schedule, a surprise release and a wave of injury updates have completely changed the outlook for this weekend. Behind the scenes, decisions are being made that could reshape the rest of the season, and fans are left wondering if the right calls are being made at exactly the wrong time. I'll tell you everything in detail. I just ask that you click the like button and stay with me so I can keep you well informed. The Atlanta Falcons made headlines this week with a series of unexpected and bold roster decisions that could have major implications heading into their crucial Week 10 matchup in Berlin against the Indianapolis Colts. In a move that shocked fans and analysts alike, the team announced the release of defensive lineman Taquan Graham on Wednesday. This comes as part of a whirlwind of transactions aimed at stabilizing a roster rocked by injuries and underperformance. Graham, once projected to be a cornerstone of the Falcons' defensive line rotation, had only recently returned to action after missing several weeks due to injury. Despite his return, his impact on the field had been minimal. He logged just 4 tackles and 1 tackle for loss across 2 games. Notably, he was listed as a healthy scratch in the team's recent loss to the Patriots, a game that ultimately foreshadowed the end of his stint in Atlanta. Originally a 5th-round pick out of Texas, Graham was valued for his size and potential to offer versatility along the defensive front, but that potential never fully materialized in Atlanta. The timing of the move is as surprising as the decision itself. Just days before their overseas game, the Falcons were forced to juggle roster needs due to a wave of injuries that struck the offensive line. In particular, they lost both starting guards, Chris Lindstrom and Matthew Bergeron, during the Week 9 game against New England. Head coach Raheem Morris expressed cautious optimism about Lindstrom's return, calling him day-to-day, but admitted Bergeron's situation looks more week-to-week, leaving his chances of playing in Germany slim. These injuries prompted the team to sign offensive lineman Andrew Stoiber to provide immediate depth. Stoiber, who spent time on the Falcons practice squad earlier in the season, is seen as a flexible lineman capable of filling multiple roles, a much-needed asset with the line in flux. The signing was made official on Tuesday, the same day the team released kicker Parker Romo, whose missed extra point in the Patriots game proved decisive in the Falcons' 1-point loss. Rather than a straight swap between Romo and the newly signed Zane Gonzalez, the Falcons used the available roster spot to bring in Stoiber. This left the team with a decision to make regarding who would be the roster casualty to accommodate Gonzalez. Ultimately, that player was Graham. The ripple effects of these changes stretch across both sides of the ball. On offense, with Bergeron likely sidelined, Kyle Hinton is expected to start at left guard. Hinton, who has been with the team since 2023, is no stranger to stepping up. He has already played in 8 games this season and performed admirably in relief last week. Offensive coordinator Zach Robinson praised his physicality and presence in both pass protection and the run game, while Morris emphasized the trust they have in Hinton's ability to deliver when called upon. Javon Gwynn is next in line behind Hinton, while Stoiber could factor in if needed, especially with swing tackle Storm Norton also facing a setback. Norton, designated to return from IR in late October, was a surprise non-participant in practice last Friday after a full week of activity. Morris described the medical updates on Norton as not great, indicating the team is still waiting on a final decision regarding his availability before his activation window closes. Defensively, the Falcons' front is now down to 5 active linemen: David Onyemata, Brendan Dorlus, Rooker Horhoro, Zach Harrison, and Sam Roberts. Kentavious Street is currently the lone defensive lineman on the practice squad. While the door remains slightly ajar for Graham to return in a practice squad role, there is no confirmation yet, and he may opt to explore opportunities elsewhere. Harrison's status, at least, brings some relief. After missing the last 2 games with a knee injury, he was a full participant in Wednesday's practice and appears poised to return. Raheem Morris expressed confidence in Harrison's readiness, though he cautioned that final decisions depend on how he progresses through the rest of the week. In the secondary, the team received promising news as rookie cornerback Billy Bowman Jr. returned to practice. Bowman has missed 4 games due to a hamstring issue but is trending in the right direction. Morris sounded upbeat about Bowman's participation this week, hinting that the rookie nickelback could suit up in Berlin. His return could provide a timely boost to a defense that needs depth and consistency in coverage. Meanwhile, the pass rush took a hit with veteran edge rusher Leonard Floyd re-aggravating a hamstring injury in Week 9. Floyd did not practice on Wednesday and his availability for Sunday remains in serious doubt. The Falcons will have to monitor his status closely as they prepare to face a Colts offense that can capitalize on a weakened front 7. So, Falcons fans, what do you make of the decision to release Taquan Graham and the reshuffling that followed? Was this a smart move by the front office, or could it come back to haunt them in Berlin? With the release of Taquan Graham, the Falcons' decision signals more than just a roster shuffle. It reflects a strategic shift toward players they believe can contribute immediately amid a brutal stretch of injuries and inconsistency. Graham was seen as a developmental piece, but with the playoff race tightening and roster flexibility becoming more critical than ever, the team is clearly prioritizing reliability and immediate impact over long-term potential. The defensive line, even without Graham, isn't entirely devoid of talent. David Onyemata continues to be a stabilizing force in the middle. Rookies Brandon Dorlus and Rukor Horahoro are growing into their roles, each bringing energy and athleticism, though the inexperience is apparent at times. Zach Harrison's potential return is a welcome boost, especially as he showed flashes of dominance earlier in the season. If he's back to full health, Harrison could help shore up a rotation that now lacks depth. Sam Roberts, who remains something of an unknown to most fans, now finds himself in a much more prominent position. Acquired during roster cuts from New England, Roberts hasn't played many snaps this season, but with the Falcons down to just 5 linemen, his role is no longer optional. He will be called upon. Injury updates continue to dominate the conversation around this team. Offensive line depth, in particular, is razor thin. With Chris Lindstrom's foot injury placing him in the day-to-day category, the Falcons are clinging to the hope that their All-Pro can make the flight to Germany and suit up. Lindstrom's absence was felt immediately in Week 9, not just in protection but in the run game, where his presence typically creates critical lanes for the backs. Bergeron's situation appears more long-term, but thankfully, Kyle Hinton has already proven to be a capable fill-in. His size and strength in the trenches were noticeable against New England, and while there were some early hiccups, his composure and adaptation were encouraging. Offensive coordinator Zach Robinson and head coach Raheem Morris have shown full confidence in Hinton's ability to execute the game plan in real time, even without regular first-team reps during the week. One name that's quietly worth watching is Andrew Stoiber. While not a household name, his positional versatility makes him a valuable insurance policy. Raheem Morris mentioned Stoiber's ability to swing between guard and tackle, which will be critical if the injury bug continues to bite. Considering Storm Norton's uncertain status and the absence of starting right tackle Caleb McGarry, who was ruled out for the season back in August, Stoiber may be thrust into action sooner than expected. As the Falcons prepare to board their transatlantic flight, they're carrying more than just equipment and game plans. They're carrying the weight of a season that still hangs in the balance. Every decision, every injury update, and every roster move could have major implications on whether this team keeps pace in the NFC playoff hunt or watches the season slip away. And now, Falcons Nation, with the defense losing a once promising lineman and the offensive line patching itself together mid-season, how confident are you in this reshaped roster heading into Berlin? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay well informed. Go Falcons!